Okay, yeah, I have to do this video because it's never working. First Nations, BC voters stop Kinder Morgan construction. Every time they come out and say they're going to clean it up, it's all bullshit. All propaganda. We're going to clean it up. We're going to clean it up. And they never clean it up. They never clean anything up. It's all a lie. Everything's a lie. And by the time they clean it up, what the fuck? Who gives a shit? It's too late. It's all too late. Once you have to clean something up, it's too late. Things have been destroyed. By the time they clean it up, they don't have money ready. They don't have anything ready by the time they get anything over there to clean anything up. They would have to build a wall around this pipeline. Okay, a wall around this pipeline. How can they actually build this pipeline and build a wall? How much would it actually cost for them to build this wall? Have you ever seen them build a parking lot for scrap cars? How they build something underneath the ground in case the gasoline leaks out? Have you ever seen how that is built? Now I can say, well, why don't they build this around it? Why don't the Indians themselves look and say, okay, if they build this around it, it will be okay? Well, why aren't they doing it if it can be okay? Why don't they separate it like Moses separated the water and build that pipeline, make two walls and a tunnel so the salmon can go to each side? Would that help? Or is it money, 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 money? This is so sad, because I can probably construct this thing so that it will protect that if it does blow up. But is it that important? Is it that important that you just can't haul whatever you're doing over the roads? You know what? Is it that important that we need all this oil? Is it actually something different other and beyond the money of the oil? Something to do with the earth, that if we remove the oil from the land, we actually distort the earth's vibration of the earth, changing something in the sky system because of a world, a spirit world that exists, that we still think there's aliens out there, but Earth is not singular. Earth is not singular. I want to change the subject just a little bit to tell you that in French, every single planet is said English and French. Mercury in English, Mercure in French. Venus in English, Venus in French. Mars in English, Mars in French. Jupiter in English, Jupiter. Jupiter means to split it apart. That's what it means. Jupiter means to divide it up equally and unequally with a vibration that stands between us, because the continuation of the pi meaning, okay, in which is electronic, because pi is actually, okay, to make pi perfect, you need to multiply it by 3 and add it up to a single digit. And it's anyways, I don't want to get into it. You get into Saturn in English, it's Saturn in French. We just keep adding an extra E, meaning energy, electronic, the 5 meaning the passage. When we go up to Uranus, you say Uranus. When we go up to Neptune, we say Neptune. When we go up to Pluto, we say Pluto. But when we say Earth in French, we don't say Earth. We say terre. Terre means to rip apart. Tear means a teardrop, or the bringing together of the sign of the yin and the yang. The movement, the yin and the yang, is actually a sway. You might see the perfect design, but it's the teardrop moving between the two sides, and a core on each side of the yin and the yang. Here is a connection between the two. That is the split of the yin and the yang. 69, the split of the yin and the yang. The split. You see the F that comes inside that? You see the 1 that drives through the S, turning the S into an F. The building of alphanumeric, the understanding of the deepness of these pipelines. We need an Indian. We need a re-election. Okay, we need a re-election in BC. We need to change governments in BC, and we need to change governments in Canada. Why is there not an Indian up there? Why are we not voting for this? I see so many likes or loves, whatever you want to call it, by thousands and millions of people, yet we can't vote an Indian in? Is there something wrong with the system? That can't be. Is it not time? We just had a re-election, somebody called Justin Trudeau. The word Trudeau in the French actually means a water hole in the ground. Trou meaning hole, and eau meaning water. Justin, a stent between the holes in the ground. We don't need a prime minister that runs outside the country. We need a prime minister running inside the country. If we can stand on our own 2 feet inside the country, then we might be able to extend ourselves outside the country. The people of Canada are inside the country. They are not outside the country. If we need money, we can print our own money and stand on our own 2 feet. If we have less value outside the country of our money, well, we have less value. If we can't stand on our own 2 feet, eventually all the other countries that buy whatever we have will be holding us up. And the minute they take away the judgment, which is the béquille, which the béquille happens to be when you break your leg, you walk around with crutches. That's what Canada is doing. Canada walks around with crutches all over the world, hoping everybody else keeps us standing when we can stand on our own. If we can stand for the flag, then Canada must hold up their own. The maple leaf is unity, but I don't see any unity here. How is the vote working? If the Indians are talking the way it is, we should have an Indian or something to do with an association that instead of having one prime minister, we should have the Knights of the Round Table sitting up, and instead of one person, we should have a set of people. We should have judgment. We should have 3 prime ministers at the same time sitting in a little table together, where not one gets to decide, but the 3 of them have been voted in. That 2 get to outvote the other ones, and 2 have to be Indians. But I also know that when you have organizations and unions, it seems like the union who was supposed to be taking the side of the people all of a sudden gets a few extra dollars in his pocket, and he's now telling his people, selling them on the other side. So you see there's corruption all over the place. Changes have to be made. If we ruin something, you cannot fix it by cleaning it up or plastering it. It does not work. It's been like this. There have been over 100 oil spills in the last less than 10 years. Okay, and if you go look online and all around, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that they have all had nothing has been cleaned up. The fish are dying in the ocean. It is time, my friends. It is time, my friends, that you understand that if you want to protest, your best protest is to just stay home. Stay home. Don't go to work. Don't do anything anymore. But we don't have the money because over the years, now we have debts. But who are the collectors? We are the collectors. We are the borrowers. We are everything, and we jail ourselves. And the rich and the elite and the big companies look at us and go, ha, 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 ha. And when it's not good enough, when we can't jail ourselves and we can't control ourselves, they bring in armies. We are under control and under surveillance right now at this time. I don't care how much money you have. You should set up your companies. You should gather the smaller elite companies together that are not involved in this and start turning everything around. Because if you don't, everybody will be losing their houses, losing their cars, and out of jobs. And at the end, you know what it is? We'll all be a welfare society regardless, with nothing but a prayer, because everything that you need in water and fish will be GMO, chemically modified, chemicals in the air. For every mile you run, it's $40,000. You run 10 miles, it's a new doctor in the house. And it's happening over and over. So I went from the water to the chemtrails, from the fluoride. And what are we doing about it? We keep running out and protesting and get nothing done because something is getting done wrong. There are laws against us going out and protesting. That is retarded. There should be no law. The only law is do not disturb the person beside you. Do not disturb them. Do not sleep with your friend's wife. Don't steal. But all these other laws and bylaws, laws are good, yeah, for crossing the street. Don't drive fast in a school zone. Yeah, we got some good laws. But I'm telling you one thing, the major laws we have out here are only taking away every right from every human being that has any kind of freedom on this planet. Laws are here for control. The word oil backwards is l'huile, okay? But the word backwards of oil, okay, is loi, L-O-I. And the word loi means law. And the word law backwards says wall. And this is the slicky and the slide road that they trap us down. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. The question is, before we go out and protest, we have to go out and figure out a way that our stance will stand, that no one can infiltrate, that we have the army on our side, that we have an arm that will stop their arm from moving. Because these companies and the money, it's more than the money these companies want. It's an alternate control of something else. I don't know what it is. Actually, I sort of do know what it is. But let's keep that in another video. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Somehow we must find a new stance, and we must change. We must change the government. We must have a new election in Canada. We must have a new election in British Columbia. The law must change. The votes must be understood. Thank you for watching this video.